he was throwing very well the first couple innings. Yeah, he just looked like his slot changed a little bit. Got a little lower and pitches flattened out there. And, it looked like he had a good shot of getting out of that inning. And of course, the home run, and then the next inning, and he was throwing well, as you just mentioned, the first couple innings, and got away from him. And that's a pretty steep hill to climb against their guy, but the guys did battle back to make it a ball game, and to get the tying run on deck. They were fighting hard, but that's just a long ways to go. And but we'll talk about Matty tomorrow and see where we're at. But he was locked in and just lost it there after the second.
What did you think of their guy?
He's good. I mean, you look at the year he's having, he's throwing the ball as well as anybody. And he's got great stuff, velocity, a cutter, good breaking ball change. I mean, he's had a great year. That's why he's got, 16 wins or something now. And you're hoping your guy's on and keep it close, and, you see what happens. But, we let that game get out of hand, and going against a guy like that, that's a tough task and a little too big. But they did battle back to make it a game.
Juan Perez in second there is just to take a look, just in case he could start some games in there.
No, I had to take Crawford out, to be honest. His left side tightened up on him. The last swing he took in that long at bat tightened up quite a bit, and it wasn't worth the risk to, keep playing. I was at infielders, but Juan has played infield, so I had to make a change there. And we'll see how Craw's doing tomorrow. My hope is he's fine, but he's, I put him at day-to-day right now.
Matt's obviously given up quite a few homers this year. Any thread there, any sense of why that has been a problem?
Well, it's, as always, you've heard me talk about it, so many times. It's command, and, some pitches got away from him. That's a tough lineup, and, I think he left a couple pitches up, secondary pitches, and first two innings he was locked in. I mean, he couldn't miss a spot, and like I said, it just got away from him there. But he's trying to find it. Matt's giving you all he has out there, but the long ball has hurt him this year.
Bruce, and speaking of Matt, it's his struggles, since they continue, will there be any thoughts going forward as to maybe taking him out of the rotation?
Well, I said I talk about him later. I'm not going to talk about it now, but tomorrow I'll talk about it a little bit more. But I think it's fair to say he's not quite where I think he's going to be. But these are things we'll talk about after I'm done here.
Going back to Cain, do you think it's a process for him, since he kind of has a new arm?
Sure, I think without question that's fair to say, and it's a little different arm, and he's he went through a lot. He went through a long rehab, then had a setback, so that's part of the process. Sometimes it takes a little bit longer than he would like or we would like, and but I think he's healthy, but we'll again discuss him tomorrow more.
A good number of his home runs have come on the first pitch this year. Is that something that you would address with him in the sense, or you have an understanding of why that's happening?
No, we want these guys to attack the strike zone. Obviously, you want to throw quality strikes, and it comes down to sometimes they don't have their normal sharp command, and we know what Matty's done for us, and he's not there yet. So he's making some mistakes. Whether it's early in the count or with two strikes, he's just not quite getting the ball consistently where he needs to get it, and I think where he will get it, but right now it's not quite there.
Bruce, you talked about his arm slot maybe dropping a little bit. Is that something that you just noticed today, or has that been an issue? over the course of
A
the year?
couple times I've noticed it. That flattens out his slider and his other pitches, but sometimes this happens with pitchers. I've talked about it with Heston, and occasionally they get a little bit lower and they have a hard time staying in that slot. But with Matty, it's happened more than once.
You obviously want to win the division more than get in as a wild card, but does it feel like the wild card option is that door is kind of close to shutting, given how large the lead?
Oh, I don't think the door's ever shut. We're in August, and you've seen what this club's done, what kind of role they've gotten on, and there's been a lot of teams in the history of the game that you think, gosh, that door has been shut, and they come back, and that's how we feel. We never give up on any door. It's obvious, you want to win your division. That's what we're looking at, and that's how we have to play the game. But these other teams, they can stumble too.
What are your impressions of the Cubs based on the 5 games you've played against them this year?
Well, obviously they played very well against us. They pitch well, and they've gotten the hits. And I don't think we played our best ball. We haven't had a full deck, and not to make any excuses, but it always comes down to pitching. You got to pitch well, and pitching's got away from us at times. It did in Chicago. We had some guys that weren't on, and of course, their pitching's done a pretty good job. I mean, they're a hot team. They're playing well. That's quite a role that they've been on, and we knew that coming in, and we're facing a guy that is throwing the ball as well as anybody right now. So, hopefully your pitching goes out there and puts up zeros and gives you a chance to win. They got away from us tonight.